white lightning still the biggest thrill of all. Leather boots are still in style for manly footwear. Beads and Roman sandals won't be seen. Football's still the roughest thing on campus. And the kids here respect the college dean. I'm proud to be an Okie from Muskogee, a place where even squares can have a ball. We still wave Old Glory down at the courthouse, and white lightning still the biggest thrill of all. White lightning still the biggest thrill of all. In Muskogee, Oklahoma, USA. Woo! God bless the Hag now.
That's Lainey Wilson singing about that Okie from Muskogee. Any true country fan knows that is a classic Merle Haggard song. For us hardcore country fans, Merle is in a class of his own. If you ask fans who should be on the Mount Rushmore of country music, it may start a bar fight, but there's one name everyone will agree on: Merle Haggard. I'm Clint Black, and there's no singer-songwriter more important to our kind of music than Merle Haggard. For the next hour, we're going to pay tribute to the man dubbed the working man's poet. Merle had a way with lyrics that spoke to everyone: rich, poor, blue collar, white collar, young and old. Any country musician can whip out a dozen Haggard tunes from memory at the drop of a hat. For the next hour, we're going to hear from a wide range of artists singing their top Merle picks. We just heard one of Lainey Wilson's picks. Coming up, Suzy Bogguss, Eli Paperboy Reed, Joe Nichols, Marty Haggard, Cody Johnson, and yours truly will humbly render our favorites from the Hag. There's so much to say about this colorful character, but his music says the most. So let's jump right back in with another one from Lainey Wilson.
Well, let's keep this party going. I'm gonna tell you right now, he has blazed the trail for country music, for people who want to say what they want to say, how they want to say it. So I appreciate him so much. Come on now. Let's go, boys. Could be holding you tonight. Could quit doing wrong, start doing right. You don't care about what I think. I think I'll just stay here and try. Ain't putting you down, won't square no deal. At least you know the way I take all the money in the bank. Come on, Opry. Well, I think I'll just stay here and drink. Listen close so you can hear that loud jukebox playing in my ear. Ain't no woman gonna change the way I think. I think I'll just stay here and drink. What y'all know about it? Let's hear it for the Hag. Come on. Hurt me now, won't feel a thing. Love ain't here, don't feel no pain. My mind ain't nothing but a total blank. I think I'll just stay here and drink. That's that good country music now. Woo! my soul some good now.
That's Lainey Wilson right there. My mind ain't nothing but a total blank. I think I'll just stay here and cut to a word from our sponsors. But stay tuned for Suzy Bogguss with a Haggard classic when Opry Salutes Merle Haggard continues.
Opry Live is sponsored in part by Dish Network and by Blue Emu Maximum Pain Relief. It works fast and you won't stink.
Well, hello everybody, Lainey Wilson. How amazing is that as a start off to our incredible Opry Live tonight. Y'all, I am Natalie Stovall, hanging out backstage in the Cowboy Way dressing room. This is where we like to be when we get to rewatch Opry performances like that amazing Lainey Wilson there. Now, this is not a rewatch for you guys. I say that because I was there that night and got to see her do this. But what we're doing is one of these really cool themed Opry shows. I love these so much. We did the one with the Opry Loves the 90s, and tonight is all about Mr. Merle Haggard. That doesn't seem to be a surprise at all, though, because we hear a lot about Mr. Haggard backstage. I feel like there's not a night that goes by where you don't hear someone talking about Mr. Merle Haggard. He's such an influential artist in country music that we started talking about it and thinking, maybe we should bring that to the stage again. And we kind of set out an invitation to a bunch of different artists and said, hey, if we did a tribute to Merle Haggard, would you want to sing a Merle song? There were a lot of takers on that request. So over the last little bit, we've had a lot of artists sing a Merle song in addition to their Opry set. And now tonight, we are all getting to watch this compilation together. And this is really fun for me because, like I said, I was there that night when Lainey did her songs, but there were quite a few performances that I have not seen yet. So I am anxiously awaiting the ones that I've seen that I know were great, and also some of these that I haven't even seen yet. So I'm really, really excited that you guys are going to get to be a part of this. Some of the other performers that you're going to see tonight include Miss Suzy Bogguss. Oh, that was such an incredible one. Clint Black, Eli Paperboy Reed, who I am now introduced to, and y'all get ready for that performance. Joe Nichols, Marty Haggard. That was so cool. And Cody Johnson. So this is an all-star lineup, an incredible show. And, you know, it's just, I don't know, this is just so much fun to get to see the different interpretations. For me, it's added a lot of depth to an artist and a songwriter that I already have an incredible amount of respect for. But just like getting to see Lainey do those songs, it just adds a whole new version and interpretation. And we have so much more to get to right now, so I'm going to throw it back to the Opry stage.
Thank you very much. Merle Haggard was a special case, a very unique success story. Merle found himself serving time behind bars in prison as a young man, where a big-time country singer came through to sing for the inmates. Anyone? Johnny Cash inspired Merle Haggard from behind bars to pursue his music career, and he did. He went on to become one of the biggest icons in all of music. I had the distinct privilege of being on tour with Merle for about 100 cities. Wrote a couple of songs with him, but tonight I'm going to do a song he wrote without me. Inspired by that stint in San Quentin. First thing I remember knowing is a lonesome whistle blowing, and a youngin's dream of growing up to ride on a freight train leaving town, not knowing where I'm bound. No one could change my mind, but Mama tried. One and only rebel child from a family meek and mild, my mama seemed to know what lay in store. Despite all my Sunday learning, towards the bad I kept on turning, till Mama couldn't hold me anymore. And I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried, Mama tried, Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried.
rest his soul, left my mom a heavy load. She tried so very hard to fill his shoes, working hours without rest, wanted me to have the best. She tried to raise me right, but I refused. And I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. No one could steer me right, but Mama tried, Mama tried, Mama tried to raise me better, but her pleading I denied. That leaves only me to blame, 'cause Mama tried.
You can almost smell the prison food cooking, right? Glad I'm here with you. If you just tuned in, we're having a Merle Haggard Songfest right here, and hopefully you've got the proper supplies close at hand. For the faint of heart, a box of Kleenex, a long neck bottle of something, maybe a picture of your dear mother. Every country musician worth their salt has a satchel of heartbreak songs, and Merle was a grade A prime example of this. Part of Merle's genius was to take our complex human emotions, convert them into simple lyrics and melodies, and then hit you with them right in the heart. This next song is a perfect example of that.
I made a record that was all Merle Haggard songs, and I called it Lucky because I feel so lucky that I got to know Merle, and it was quite an experience. So when I made this record, I did 12 of his songs, and I have to tell you, I felt like I had gone to songwriting school. I thought I was going to have a real hard time doing that. You know, being a female and him being Mr. Macho and all. But it really wasn't like that at all. It was so amazing to me once I got into it to realize how many of his songs were just universally about peeps. All of us, our relationships and the things that go on, and so many different kinds of relationships, and so many different styles of country. Silver wings shining in the sunlight, roaring engines headed somewhere in flight. They're taking you away and leaving me lonely. Silver wings slowly fading out of sight. But you locked me out of your mind, left me standing here behind. Silver wings shining in the sunlight, roaring engines headed somewhere in flight. They're taking you away and leaving me lonely. Silver wings slowly fading out of sight. Let me hear you now. Silver wings shine in the sunlight, roaring engines headed somewhere in flight. They're taking you away and leaving me lonely. Silver wings slowly fading out of sight. Slowly fading out of sight. You sounded great. Thanks a lot, you guys.
Suzy Bogguss with one of the most beautiful songs in country music. Along with Suzy, over 50 different artists have recorded that one. Well, keep your hat on. There's lots more classic Haggard ahead with Eli Paperboy Reed, Joe Nichols, Marty Haggard, and Cody Johnson when Opry Salutes Merle Haggard continues.
Humana, proud partner of the Grand Ole Opry. It's not just healthcare, it's human care.
Well, welcome back to our little backstage portion here of this incredible Opry Live. Y'all, Clint Black, how awesome was that performance? Okay, that was another one that I was there for that night, and I vividly remember standing side stage when he told that story about Johnny Cash going to play when Merle Haggard was in prison at the time, and I didn't know that. I don't know how that detail escaped me all these years. It's one of those little pieces of trivia that I go, how did that miss me? But that's what inspired Merle Haggard to want to become a country music singer. And when you just think about that in the big scheme of things, how that had to be another one of the reasons that was on Johnny Cash's heart to go sing at those prisons and be there, because we got one of the greatest artists out of country music from that performance. And I just think that is such a cool little piece of trivia. And Clint Black singing Mama Tried, I mean, one of the best country music songs we got out there. But it's so fun to hear him do his version, because I started looking into it a little bit, and that song has been covered by a lot of artists on the Opry stage, as well as so many artists that I would have not even known would have covered a Merle Haggard song, including the Grateful Dead at Woodstock. How about that piece of trivia for you? There's also the Everly Brothers did a version. Joan Baez did a version. Jim Croce did a demo of it that was eventually released. Johnny Cash did a version with Merle and Willie. And think about that too. That had to be such a cool moment for Merle Haggard. Just another full circle, if you will. Yep. Reba did a version, Percy Sledge, Randy Travis, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Toby Keith, so many more. I mean, the list could go on forever of all the great covers of Mama Tried. But that was such a primo choice that Clint Black had there. And then also, I have to comment on Suzy Bogguss' version of Silver Wings. So glad that she did that song. It just shows the depth of his songwriting. When you hear an artist like Suzy Bogguss just bring a whole new layer in interpretation into a Merle Haggard song, and she knows closely. Love that comment about going back to songwriting school with that one. But we got to get back to the show and get a little more Merle Haggard tribute in.
Welcome back to Opry Salutes Merle Haggard. I'm often asked what makes a great song, and that's a question with about 100 different correct answers. One thing I've always thought is, if you can completely change up the style of the song and it still sings, it's a great song. Listen carefully as this next artist proves that point and takes Merle to a whole other dimension.
Your heart and mine, there's a window that I can't see through. There's a wall so high it reaches the sky. Somewhere between me and you. I love you so much, I can't let you go. And sometimes I believe you love me. But somewhere between your heart and mine, there's a door without any key. Somewhere between your heart and mine, there's a window that I can't see through. There's a wall so high it reaches the sky. Somewhere between me and you. Listen. Somewhere between your little heart and mine, there's a love that I can't understand. Oh no. Oh, it's there for a while, then it fades just like a smile, and I'm left in the middle again. Somewhere between your heart and mine, there's a window that I can't see through. Oh, there's a wall so high it reaches the sky. Somewhere between me and you. Oh, Lord, somewhere between me and you. Woo! Somewhere between me and you. Yeah. Somewhere between me and you.
Thank you all so much for having me. Thank you to the Opry. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
It's a big job just getting by with 9 kids and a wife. But I've been a working man, dang near all my life, and I keep on working. Long as my 2 hands are fit to use. I drink my beer in a tavern, sing a little bit of these working man blues. I keep my nose on the grindstone, work hard every day. Might get a little tired on the weekends after I'm done my pay, but I'll keep on working. Come Monday morning, I'm right back with the crew. Keep on working. I break my beer that evening, cry a little bit of these working man blues. I'll sing. Working man like me ain't never been on welfare. The one place I'm gonna be, I'll be working. Buy my kids a brand new pair of shoes. On those I do. I drink my beer in a tavern, cry little Billy's working man blues. Come on and play that thing for me. Sometimes I think about leaving, do a little bumming around. Got to throw my bills out the window, catch a train to another town, but I go back working. Got to buy my kids a brand new pair of shoes. I drink my beer in a tavern, sing a little Billy's working man blues. Come on, y'all, help me say it one more time. Hey, working man like me ain't never been on welfare. That's the one place I'm gonna be. I'll be working. Come Monday morning, I'm right back with the crew. I drink my beer in a tavern, sing a little Billy's working man blues. Keep on working. I drink my beer in a tavern, cry little Billy's working man blues.
Eli Paperboy Reed with a soulful take on a Haggard classic. It's Merle like you've never heard Merle before, but still Merle. After the break, Joe Nichols serves up a bit of Merle's finest bittersweet love. Marty Haggard has a personal one about his grandmother, and Cody Johnson are all still ahead. Coming up on Opry Salutes Merle Haggard.
Opry Live is sponsored in part by Dish Network.
Well, hello everybody. Natalie Stovall here, hanging out backstage at the Grand Ole Opry House for this very, very special Opry Live. Now, if you're just joining us, this tribute show is all about the man, Mr. Merle Haggard. But can we talk about Eli Paperboy Reed? Did y'all know about him? Because this was my first introduction to him. I was here the night, this was his debut night too, by the way. Think about that for a second. Not only did he knock both of those Merle Haggard songs out of the park, but this was the first time he ever played the Opry stage. And I get to see a lot of artists perform on the Opry stage, and I get to see a lot of debuts, but that one just was so incredible. I didn't know what to expect, of course, because this was my introduction to him, but Paperboy, he was coming in hot, especially with that horn section. His band was so great, and he just seemed so cool and collected out there. Like, I loved that performance, and I loved his interpretation of Merle Haggard songs. I know I keep talking about how it just adds so many layers and depth to what I already think of Merle Haggard as an artist, but man, getting to see Eli Paperboy Reed doing his thing up there, I didn't even know that that's what some of those songs could sound like, but it really is a testament to the soulfulness that Merle Haggard has and had. I mean, they sounded like Motown songs up there. It was so cool to witness. So I hope you guys check him out and look him up and continue listening to his music. I certainly am, because that was just so much fun. And speaking of more amazing music to let you guys discover even more, we've been talking about this a little bit here on Circle, but there is a documentary on Circle right now that is so stellar. It's called Born in Bristol, and it's all about the birth of country music. So 95 years ago, there was a recording engineer that set up shop in Bristol, Tennessee, and his name was Ralph Peer, and he said, I'll record anybody that wants a recording. And those sessions are known as the birth of country music. So you guys definitely need to check out your Circle program guide, see when Born in Bristol is going to be playing, because it is so great. And in addition to that, you can also book yourself a little Tennessee vacation at tnvacation.com. Right now, though, we still got more Opry Live to get to.
Thank y'all so much. I tell you what, I cannot tell you how proud I am to be here tonight to honor one of my all-time favorites, my all-time favorite. What an incredible time this is for me. You know, I remember when I was a little kid, I had a cassette tape box that I would play Merle Haggard tapes in. And a little 8-year-old voice trying desperately to sound like Merle Haggard. And try to sound for real. And I would go try it out on my friends, like, does this sound like Merle? Sing me back home. But they were honest. But so glad that I was able to be here for this wonderful tribute on Merle's birthday. And I was so thankful that I got to know him later on as well. Got to meet one of my all-time favorites. So tonight we're gonna do a couple of my favorites. I hope you like him. I remember it all started in 1929 when me and Diana moved to Alaska to homestead some of this free government land. 40 miles from the nearest gravel road. We cut our lives in the Ponderosa Pines. We sweated hard to beat the winter snow. But the cabin's up and we got lots of time. What have you got planned tonight, Diana? Would you consider lying in my arms? I love you more than ever now, Diana. I'm sure you're the reason I was born. Jim was born the first year we were here. Look at him. My God, he's almost grown. The baby's in the cradle, fast asleep. Just think in no time he'll be up and gone. What have you got planned tonight, Diana? Would you consider lying in my arms? I love you more than ever now, Diana. I'm sure you're the reason I was born. Well, time sure does fly, doesn't it, Diana? It's been almost 2 years now since you've been gone. Speaking of time, I guess you know that mine's about up. I'm gonna see you tonight. Just another breath or two, I'll be home. By the way, what have you got planned tonight, Diana? Would you consider lying in my arms? I love you more than ever now, Diana. I'm sure you're the reason I was born. Yeah, I'm sure you're the reason I
was born.
Thank y'all very, very much. I love that song. Love that song. Well, I think my knees have stopped shaking a little bit. So many talented people on this show here today. I'm so thankful to be a part of this. And again, I haven't been here much in the past 14 years, but it feels good to be at home. This really does feel like a home to me. So thank y'all for inviting me back. Thanks for making me feel at home. Speaking of home, this is one of my all-time favorite Merle songs here.
The warden led a prisoner down the hallway to his doom. I stood up to say goodbye like all the rest, and I heard him tell the warden just before he reached my cell, let my guitar play in friend to my request. Let him sing me back home with a song I used to hear. Make my old memories come alive. Take me away and turn back the years. Sing me back home before I die. I recall last Sunday morning, a choir from off the streets came in to sing a few old gospel songs, and I heard him tell the singers, there's a song my mama sang. Could I hear it once before you moved along? Won't you sing me back home the song I used to hear? Make my old memories come alive, and take me away and turn back the years. Sing me back home before I die. Won't you sing me back home before I die?
Thank you very much. Thank y'all.
Joe Nichols with a beautiful version of Merle's Sing Me Back Home. When you look over Merle's vast song catalog, two topics come up fairly often: his mother and his time in prison, which no doubt reflects the two greatest influences in his life. That one from Joe was inspired by his stint in San Quentin. The one we're about to hear was inspired by his own single mother. A common theme in a lot of his music is the soul starvation of his characters, whether it's prison, lost love, the plight of the working man, or the single mom. Merle saw the anguish that is sometimes a part of life and was a master at putting it to music. Have a listen to this next song and see Merle's mama through his eyes.
It's good to see you guys. My name is Marty Haggard. I am the oldest son of the greatest country singer-songwriter in history, Merle Haggard. I know somebody in here probably says, well, I don't know if he's the greatest in the world. That's okay. You're in America. You have the right to be wrong. Anyway, I am my dad's oldest son. I'm the one that he took on the road with him all those years. He was writing and recording all that great music. But I appreciate every one of you coming and sharing your love for my dad. A canvas-covered cabin in a crowded labor camp stand out in this memory I revive. 'Cause my daddy raised a family there with 2 hard-working hands and tried to feed my mama's hungry eyes. He dreamed of something better, and my mama's faith was strong. And us kids were just too young to realize that another class of people put us somewhere just below. One more reason for my mama's hungry eyes. Mom never had the luxury she wanted, but it wasn't for my mama's hungry eyes. I remember Daddy praying for a better way of life, but I don't recall a change of any size. Just a little loss of courage as their age began to show, and more sadness in my mama's hungry eyes. Mom never had the luxury she wanted, but it wasn't 'cause my daddy didn't try. She only wanted things she really needed. One more reason for my mama's hungry eyes. Hey, I still recall my mama's hungry eyes. Thank you, guys.
Marty Haggard with his dad's tribute to Marty's grandmother. Running low on Kleenex yet? When we come back, Cody Johnson gives us a double dose with 2 Merle classics. So if you know what's good for you, you'll stay right there as Opry Salutes Merle Haggard continues.
Humana, proud partner of the Grand Ole Opry. It's not just healthcare, it's human care.
Well, hey everybody, Natalie Stovall here once again, hanging out backstage at the Grand Ole Opry for this incredibly special Opry Live. This is all about Mr. Merle Haggard. And y'all, doesn't get much better than having Merle's own flesh and blood singing for us, Mr. Marty Haggard. That was so special, seeing Marty stand in that circle, talking about his dad, singing one of his dad's songs. Like, it was just, there's something different in the air when you experience that in this building. And I hope each one of you get to experience those kinds of performances here in the flesh. But that was so cool that he sang Mama's Hungry Eyes. That was another one that was off the same album that Eli Paperboy Reed's Working Man Blues cover that he did was from. And also the Suzy Bogguss song that she sang, Silver Wings. Mama's Hungry Eyes, yet another #1 song for Mr. Merle Haggard, and it is not surprising at all. Now, those 3 songs I just mentioned, those are thought of as some of Merle's best songs he ever recorded, of all of the songs he recorded, and they're also considered to be some of the best songs ever recorded. And I gotta say, I agree with that. I mean, any artist would be so fortunate to have just those 3 songs spanning throughout their entire career. It's just incredible when you start to realize and let it sink in the depth of Merle Haggard's music, his songwriting, and his influence. And now I want to talk about Mr. Joe Nichols and that performance, because that was one that blew me away. I was there that night, and listening to Joe Nichols sing Merle Haggard songs, I already love Joe as an artist. I think he's an incredible singer, but suddenly something clicked in my brain, and I could hear that Merle influence in his voice. And I thought, oh my goodness, you've been listening to Merle Haggard your whole life. And he has. Turns out he was doing Merle Mondays every single Monday during COVID and singing Merle Haggard songs. So that comes from a truly genuine place. But I loved hearing Joe Nichols sing those songs. But I gotta tell you, I loved everybody's performances on this show. It just was such a beautiful way to send some love back to Mr. Merle Haggard. Like I said earlier, we hear him talk, he's talked about a lot in these hallways backstage, so it was lovely to bring those back to the front. Y'all still have a couple more performances left from Cody Johnson. That's it for me tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on Opry Live.
If there's one thing you can say about the Hag, it's that he was utterly candid about his point of view. This next song is an unusual example of that. It's a haunting look at what every entertainer must go through at some point in their career. Writing this one at the age of 41, he clearly thought his tread was wearing thin. Yet, Merle would go on to entertain us for nearly 40 more years with all the passion, grit, and honesty we came to expect from this one-of-a-kind, iconic legend. I'm especially grateful for that, as Merle would be my very special guest on my first headline tour, and memories of that are some of my greatest treasures. Before I send you to Cody Johnson for his turn to pay tribute, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Hope you'll come see me on tour, and be sure to join us all right here at the Opry. But for now, Cody, the footlights are all yours.
When I was asked to play this for Merle Haggard tonight, there was one song I had to play, because the first time I ever heard it, the opening lines are what got me. He said, I live the kind of life that most men only dream of. I make my living writing songs and singing them. And I thought, man, what would it be like to do that? And tonight, right here in this circle, I'm getting to live that life, so I hope y'all enjoy it. It's called Footlights. Kind of life that most men only dream of. I make my living writing songs, singing them. Now I'm 34 years old, I ain't got no place to go. It's over. So I hide my age and hit the stage tonight and try to kick the footlights out again. I throw my old guitar across the stage and watch my bass man take the ball. And the crowd goes nearly wild. See my guitar nearly fall. And after 15 years of picking, you know I'm still right here, I'm still kicking in a wall. So tonight I'll kick the footlights out and I'll walk away without a curtain call. Yeah. Yeah, tonight I'll kick the footlights out again. I'm trying to hide the mood I'm really in. I've not put on that old instrumatic grin. Yeah, tonight I kick the footlights out again. Yeah, let's go, most men only dream of. I make my living writing songs, singing them. And I'm 34 years old, and I ain't got no place to go when it's over. Yeah. So I hide my age and I'll hit the stage tonight, try to kick the footlights out again. I don't know about you, but I feel like just hearing an old beer joint honky-tonk tearing my beer country music song. Here's Tonight the Bottle Let Me Down. Here we go. Each night I leave the ballroom when it's over, not feeling any pain at closing time. Oh, but tonight your memory left me much too sober. I couldn't drink enough to keep you off my mind. Tonight the bottle let me down, and let your memory come around. The one true friend I thought I'd found. Tonight turn to. And lately I've been turning every day. Oh, but the wine don't take effect the way it used to. I'm hurting in an unfamiliar way. Tonight the bottle let me down, and let your memory come around. The one true friend I thought I'd found. Tonight the bottle let me down. Oh, tonight the bottle let me down. God bless country music. Thank y'all so much, Grand Ole Opry. Thank you very much.